the Army's celebrating its 250th birthday this year, and there's a lot going on, this month to honor that milestone. However, there's a great deal of controversy surrounding the cost and the effort that's going into the military parade that's happening. Lawmakers, I think, pushed back last week over the cost of the parade and how that money could be spent elsewhere, like caring for veterans or military families. So what's the strategic value of putting tanks on Constitution Avenue? And you spoke about this being, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So can you elaborate a little bit on, why do you feel that this is that time?
This is honestly one. In the 110 days here, I have friends who vehemently disagree with me. And so I'm actually kind of flummoxed that so many people are taking the opposite side of this one. I guess to the first point, this happened 160 years before President Trump was born. And so calling it a birthday celebration from him, it doesn't match my experience in the building. It doesn't match anything I've heard from the White House. It just doesn't seem accurate. And I think it's interesting that I fundamentally think our soldiers and our veterans and our communities deserve this. I think that they have sacrificed for this nation. The Army is older than our country, and it's an amazing time to tell the story of all of the things they've done throughout time, whether it's wildfires in California, flooding in North Carolina. I talked to a colonel this morning who's on the International Space Station. The Army just has had this incredible role in addition to providing security to the American people. And so just on that basis, I think it's an incredible opportunity. But then very specifically for recruiting, I think that there is a sense of pride and patriotism that has been rebuilding since President Trump came back into office. And I think this is an incredible time for America's youth to get to see their Army in all her majesty. And I think my guess is, and there will be quantitative data around this, so I will come back to you and tell you whether I was right or wrong. I think our recruitment centers are going to be busting at the seams in the months following this. And I think even more importantly, because we're on a recruiting tear right now, I'm hoping young people who are 4 years away from joining and 5 years away from joining and maybe early in their career but thinking about switching, I hope they catch a taste for what it's like to serve in the United States Army and just be a part of a group that is so driven by excellence, so driven by patriotism, and so driven by this idea that they're caring for their fellow community members, that when I testified on it, I actually believe it would be the wrong decision not to invest against this moment so that America could get a better glimpse of its Army.